Hi, I'm Daniel from Valve Tech, and it's no surprise to anyone that during the times Valve was making games, there were instant hits among each other, and each new entry they made was an instant success. But it seemed not one person back in 2007 could have predicted the momentous leap in innovation that Portal would bring to the gaming world at that time. And while on the surface, it seemed like your everyday puzzle game, a whole expansion of lore and atmosphere lies just beneath it. This is an in-depth look into the first two Portal games, as I plan on covering the second one in due time, but as for now, I would like to cover the first Portal and the seemingly endless amount of love it gets. Portal was innovative. Really innovative. I mean, up to that point, how many puzzle games had come out that have really set the bar that high for that type of genre? Maybe Tetris? Portal took the puzzle scene and cranked it up to an 11, it seemed like. And while thinking with portals today may seem like such an outdated phrase since anyone who's played it at least once can fly through it with ease, I can only imagine at the time where people may have thought of it as they had to incorporate it into their gameplays during 2007. Portal doesn't have a lot of replayability after your first run. I mean, sure, you have your challenge levels, and maybe it is fun to come back and rerun every once in a while, but getting back to the point, Portal was ahead of its time and not only delivered on gameplay front, but surprised by most players an actual story that was interesting. Portal's way of storytelling is a lot different and a lot more suspenseful than most other Valve titles. Like, sure, from the start, you can see that these test chambers are always being monitored, and that you are for some reason listening to a creepy robot that tells you what to do, but the player doesn't directly know anything after that. The robot's name? A mystery. What is all the testing for? Why is it being monitored? Who knows? But as you get deeper into the game, the answers start to unfold themselves, and you start to find little behind the scenes that just behind the blank dull industrial white panels. In the later chambers, you start to notice more and more deadly things being placed in the test, which is an easy indicator that GLaDOS intents are not to keep you around for much longer. You are alone here, and when you wake up, you are alone, and when you find the portal gun, you are alone. When she attempts to incinerate you, you are alone. When you travel through the long abandoned offices of the facility, you are alone. When you finally come face to face with her, you are alone. And yet, even after killing her in the end, even after reaching the surface and breathing in the air, even after all of that, nothing has changed. You are alone now as you were in the beginning. The atmosphere in Portal is really chilling. Never has a game made me feel so isolated and lonely from the grasp of society. The all-white walls, floors, and furniture. The industrial lights that seem to be the only sound constantly ringing in your ears. And the soundtrack. That just ever so adds to the depressing life you're living. Self-Esteem Fun is my personal favorite from the soundtrack, and I think perfectly encapsulates the ambient and dead environment you're being tested in. The loneliness felt in those test chambers are unparalleled for most games, even today. Being the fresh meat in the orange box, I don't believe that Valve believed that it was going to have as much potential as it lived up to. Sure, the team had enough faith to hire these college students who founded the idea for Portal. And seeing the game from the original idea being what it was based off today is quite an amazing change, and to be put on the Source engine was almost too perfect. But the story doesn't just stop with the evil GLaDOS that gets defeated, and Portal 2, of course, brings on a whole host of extra story, but also starts to tie in more connections to another Valve series involving a particular crowbar-wielding man trying to save the world. To see Portal rise up into some of the top-rated games in almost every game reviewer was probably the icing on the cake for the orange box. Well, at least if it's real. Hey, I'd like to thank you for checking out my first video. If you would like what you see here, I'd love you to first and foremost leave a constructive comment. Comments are currently what I'm looking for, as I'm trying to intake as much information on what I need to work on and what you like. I'm currently a one-man army when it comes to producing these videos, so I would love to know which areas could be improved. And while I do enjoy making Valve-based content and everything Valve, I'd love to touch on other areas of gaming as well that I'm passionate about talking about. But after that, please leave a like and subscribe if you wish to receive more content from me in the future. I am currently planning on doing Portal 2 next, but that could change. Thank you and have a good day.